Hey everyone, it's Philo, and what I'm about to tell you actually happened right here in Chicago. Lauren Harper walked into Dr. Ryan Caldwell's office on Michigan Avenue thinking she was just getting a second opinion for weird period pain. Ryan, one of the best OB-GYNs in the city, was doing a routine ultrasound when his face suddenly went stone cold. He set the probe down, looked her dead in the eyes and asked real slow, "Who's been treating you the last 5 years, Mrs. Harper?" "My husband," Lauren answered. "Dr. Nathan Harper. He's a gynecologist too." The room went dead quiet. Ryan didn't say another word for 10 full seconds. Then, "Lauren, I need you to get to Rush Medical Center right now. What I'm seeing in your uterus should not be there. At all." Her stomach dropped to the floor. For 6 straight months Lauren had been doubled over with stabbing pain in her lower belly. Her cycles were a mess. Heavy, random, excruciating. Every time she told her husband Nate, he'd kiss her forehead and say, "Babe, you're 42. Hormones go crazy at your age. I've got you." He'd write her another script for pain meds and send her home. But something in her gut, literally, kept screaming that he was wrong. So the minute Nate flew to Miami to check on his sick mom, Lauren booked a secret appointment downtown. Ryan kept moving the wand, zooming in, jaw clenched so tight she could hear it. Finally he turned the screen toward her and pointed to a jagged black shadow buried deep in her uterine wall. "That," he said, voice shaking with rage he was trying to keep professional, "is an old banned IUD that's been rusting inside you for years. It's literally embedded in the tissue." Lauren felt the blood leave her face. "I've never had an IUD. Never. I'm terrified of them. Nate knows that." Ryan pulled her old chart, flipped through it, and looked sick. "There's zero record of any IUD ever being placed. Which means somebody put it in without your consent. And it wasn't yesterday." Blood work came back in minutes. Inflammatory markers off the charts. Ryan didn't sugarcoat it. "Lauren, this thing is poisoning you. You need emergency surgery at Rush tonight, and when we're done, you need to call the police." By 10 p.m. that same night, Dr. Michael Ortega was wheeling her into the OR at Rush University Medical Center. When he finally pulled the device out, even the seasoned nurses gasped. It was a Seraphim 7 IUD, banned by the FDA over a decade ago for causing cancer. The arms were black with corrosion and had sliced into her uterus like razor wire. Michael dropped it into a specimen jar and muttered, "Jesus Christ. This thing's been trying to kill her for 8 years. Lauren woke up in recovery staring at that jar. Serial number still readable, S7, N3847. Michael sat beside her bed. "We ran the number. That exact device was logged for destruction 8 years ago. At your husband's clinic on the Gold Coast." Detective Vanessa Brooks from Chicago PD showed up the next morning. Sharp suit, sharper eyes. She sat down, hit record, and asked the question Lauren already knew the answer to. "Mrs. Harper, when's the last time you were under general anesthesia?" 8 years ago. Emergency appendectomy. Nate insisted on doing it himself at his private surgery suite. Said he didn't trust anyone else with me. 2 hours later the lab confirmed it. The destroyed IUD with serial number S7, N3847 had Nate Harper's signature right next to the word defective. Instead of incinerating it, he'd slipped it into his own wife while she was unconscious on his table. Pathology came back even worse. Stage 3 precancerous changes. Michael told her straight. "Another year or two and we'd have been treating stage 4 cancer. You caught this just in time." Lauren grabbed her phone to call Nate and confront him. A young woman answered. "Hello. Who's this?" "Dr. Harper's with a patient right now." Lauren hung up, ice in her veins. That's when the real nightmare began. Ready for part 2? The secret second family, the home office discovery, the arrest in their Winnetka kitchen, the courtroom explosion, and Lauren's jaw-dropping happy ending. Say the word and I'll drop the rest right now. This one's going viral. Detective Vanessa Brooks closed her notebook and looked Lauren dead in the eye. "We've got more than enough to arrest him tonight. Medical records, the banned IUD with his signature, witness statements. Everything screams premeditated. The only thing missing is why. And we're about to find that out the hard way. Lauren stared at the ceiling of her room at Rush, feeling 15 years of marriage rot inside her chest. The man who kissed her goodnight, who promised to protect her, had been slowly murdering her dreams and her body for almost a decade. It's just hormones, babe, while she cried in pain. Every useless pill. Every hug had been part of the act. She wasn't just betrayed. She had been hunted in her own home. 3 days after surgery she was discharged. Instead of going home to Winnetka, she drove straight to Lake Shore Women's Health on the Gold Coast. Detective Brooks had already cleared it. Lauren had full legal access to her husband's office. The security guard kept sneaking glances at his phone. He was definitely texting Nate. Lauren didn't care. She had maybe 10 minutes. Same mahogany desk. Same framed photo from their Hawaii vow renewal. Same smell of his cologne. Everything looked normal. Everything lied. She punched their wedding date into the safe. Inside, a decade of device logs. Her fingers flipped to March 15th, 8 years ago. There it was, S7, N3847 marked for destruction. Nate's own signature right beside it. The door cracked open. Nurse Kayla Monroe, 25, pretty, always smiling, froze when she saw Lauren holding the proof. In Kayla's hand, a pregnancy test she was trying to hide behind her back. On her right-hand ring finger, a gold band with a diamond that looked identical to Lauren's own wedding ring. Lauren's voice came out ice-cold. Cute ring. Did my husband buy that too? Kayla went white. Before she could answer, a very pregnant patient waddled past in the hallway and threw her arms around Kayla. Girl, thank you. Dr. Harper got the new apartment paperwork through so fast. My big kids are thrilled they're getting a baby brother. Lauren felt the floor tilt. Not one secret family. Multiple. Lauren stepped into the hallway, logbook in hand. How many kids does he actually have, Kayla? Kayla's eyes filled with tears. Move with me. Olivia is 5. Noah just turned 3. They think Daddy travels for work. She clutched the pregnancy test like a shield. He swore he was leaving you. He told me you couldn't have kids, that you were sick. I didn't know he made you sick. The security guard was already walking toward them, phone to his ear. Ma'am, Dr. Harper says you gotta leave right now. Lauren snapped photos of every incriminating page, walked out with her head high, and called Detective Brooks from the parking garage. Get the search warrant. I just found the motive, and the second family. Back in Winnetka, their lakefront house felt like a tomb. Lauren sat at Nate's desk, guessed his password on the 3rd try. His mother's birthday, and opened a hidden folder labeled, Forever Now. Hundreds of pictures. Kayla in lingerie, romantic getaways, Nate holding a little girl who was his spitting image. Then the messages. One from 3 years ago made her stop breathing. Don't worry, baby. I fixed the Lauren problem for good. Slipped her a little present during her appendectomy. No more questions about babies, no more heirs. Just you, me, and our family. Another message, laughing about how he comforted Lauren while she cried from the pain he caused. Bank transfers. $5,000 a month labeled child support to Kayla Monroe. Deed to a Lincoln Park condo in Kayla's name. College funds already set up for kids Lauren would never have. He had planned to wait until the IUD gave her full-blown cancer, then divorce the sick wife and keep everything. Lauren saved every file to a thumb drive, hands shaking with rage, not fear. The front door opened downstairs. Honey, I'm home early. Got you a surprise. Nate's voice, warm, loving, fake as hell, echoed through the house. She left the worst message open on the screen, picked up the specimen jar with the blackened IUD and waited. This time she wasn't the victim walking into the trap. She was the one springing it. He actually laughed about it in one message. 2 birds, 1 stone, babe. No more baby pressure from Lauren, and we get to build the family we actually want. Then came the scanned bank statements that finished her off. $5,000 every month wired to Kayla Monroe, labeled child support, Olivia and Noah. A Lincoln Park condo deed in Kayla's name. 529 college plans already funded. Life insurance policies listing Kayla and the kids as sole beneficiaries. While Lauren was told we can't afford kids right now, Nate was bankrolling an entire second life. He called Olivia Daddy's little princess in the chats. Called Noah my real heir. Lauren. She was just the old obligation. He planned to dump the minute the IUD did its job and gave her cancer. One text from last month actually said, "As soon as she's officially sick, I'll be the heartbroken husband who can't cope. Everyone will feel sorry for me, and the house, the practice, the investments, everything stays mine." Lauren's hand shook so hard she almost dropped the mouse, but she copied every file to a thumb drive. That was solid jail-for-life evidence. The phone buzzed. Detective Brooks. "Lauren, the final pathology is back. Stage 3 precancer. Another year and it would have been stage 4. This is now attempted murder." Brooks already had the search warrant in her hand. Raid on the house and the clinic was set for 6 a.m. "Don't touch the computer again. Tech team needs it clean," Lauren whispered. "He's going to know I was here. He's coming home early." Brooks. "Good. Let him walk right into it." Front door clicked open downstairs. "Babe. Surprise. I caught an earlier flight." Nate's voice, same warm, loving tone he'd used for 15 years, now made her skin crawl. Lauren left the worst message glowing on the screen, grabbed the specimen jar with the black, corroded IUD and waited. He walked in carrying 24 red roses like nothing was wrong. The smile died the second he saw the monitor. Roses hit the hardwood, petals everywhere. "Lauren. What the hell are you doing on my computer?" She turned the screen so he could read his own words. "Slipped her a little present during her appendectomy." Nate went ghost white. "It's not what you think." She held up the jar. "Here's your little present, Nate. 8 years you let this poison me." He lunged for the jar. She stepped back. "Give me that. You have no idea what you're ruining." "Actually, I know exactly what I'm ruining. Your murder plot." He grabbed for her arm. First time he'd ever laid a hand on her in anger. That's when the front door exploded open. "Chicago police. Hands where I can see them." Detective Vanessa Brooks strode in with 4 uniforms, cuffs already out. "Nathan Harper, you're under arrest for aggravated battery and attempted murder." Nate tried the respected doctor act. "This is insane. I'm being framed by my hysterical wife." Brooks wasn't having it. "We've got your texts, bank records, and the banned IUD you signed out for destruction. Save it for the judge." Right on cue, Kayla Monroe came running through the front door in scrubs, mascara streaming. "Nate." "Security," said the cops. She saw the cuffs and lost it. "I'll tell them everything," she screamed at Brooks. "He told me Lauren was born infertile. I didn't know he did this to her." Nate shoved her away like she was radioactive. Last desperate gasp from Nate. "Lauren, I did it for us. You kept putting off kids for your career." She cut him off, voice like steel. "I said 1 more year, Nate. Not never. You stole my choice, my health, and almost my life. For her and the kids you gave everything we said we couldn't afford." Cuffs clicked. Kayla was sobbing in the foyer, begging Lauren for forgiveness she wasn't ready to give. Nate kept twisting around as they dragged him out. "Lauren, please, we can fix this. I'll get you the best treatment." She looked him dead in the eyes. "The only thing you're fixing is a prison jumpsuit." Kayla lingered by the door, 26 and suddenly staring at the wreckage of the life she thought was real. "He promised he'd leave you and marry me. I swear I didn't know." Lauren felt a flicker of pity. "He used both of us, Kayla. Just in different ways." Brooks gently took Kayla's arm. "Let's go, hon. The faster we get your statement, the faster you can get home to your kids." Kayla nodded, broken, and whispered to Lauren, "I'm so sorry. before disappearing into the night. The roses bled red on the hardwood. Lauren stood alone in the house that used to feel like home. For the first time in 8 years, the pain in her belly wasn't from the IUD. It was from finally being free. Lauren just nodded. Words were still too heavy. Forgiveness. That would come one day, maybe, when the smell of those roses no longer made her stomach turn. The house went dead quiet. Just her, the scattered petals, and 15 years of lies bleeding on the hardwood floor. She picked up a single red petal, remembered how she used to squeal when Nate surprised her with flowers. Now it felt like he'd handed her a funeral bouquet for the marriage he'd already killed. She walked into their bedroom and started pulling his clothes out of the closet. Suits, ties, the sweater she bought him in Napa. Everything went into black trash bags. Every picture frame came down. Every gift. Every trace. Tonight the ghosts were getting evicted. Her phone lit up. Dr. Ryan Caldwell. Lauren, it's Ryan. I heard what went down. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Medically, emotionally, anything at all? No agenda. No angle. Just real concern. For the first time in years she felt warmth that wasn't fake. I'm breathing, she told him. That's enough for today. He promised weekly checkups, therapy referrals, whatever she needed. She hung up, stepped onto the balcony of the Winnetka house, and looked out over Lake Michigan. Somewhere downtown in a holding cell, the man who tried to murder her with a banned IUD was finally feeling cold steel around his own wrists. Tomorrow the trial started. She was ready. Cook County Courthouse 9 months later. The gallery was packed. Reporters from every Chicago station, half the North Shore medical community, and strangers who just wanted to see a monster in a lab coat. Lauren sat front row, spine straight, eyes dry. Nate looked 20 years older. Jail pallor, twitching hands, the golden boy completely gone. The prosecutor laid it all out like a horror movie with receipts. The secret IUD insertion. The 8-year slow poison. The second family in Lincoln Park. The texts laughing about waiting for her cancer diagnosis so he could play the grieving husband and keep the money. Kayla Monroe waddled to the stand, 7 months pregnant, barely able to look at Nate. She spilled everything. How he swore Lauren was born infertile. How he bragged he'd made sure she'd never ruin the divorce with kids. The courtroom gasped so loud the bailiff had to bang his gavel. Dr. Ryan Caldwell testified calm and clinical, until he held up the blackened IUD in court and said, "This device was designed to cause cancer." He signed it out for destruction and used it on his own wife instead. Dr. Michael Ortega followed, showing slides of the precancerous damage. Then the digital forensics guy read Nate's own texts out loud. You could hear people crying in the gallery. When they called Lauren Harper to the stand, the room went church quiet. She walked up slow, looked the jury in the eyes, and spoke like she was testifying to every woman who'd ever been gaslit. I handed that man my body, my future, my dreams of being a mom. For 8 years I begged him to figure out why I was in pain. He kissed my forehead, handed me useless pills, and went home to tuck in the children he made sure I could never have. Her voice cracked only once. I will never hold a baby I gave birth to. He stole that from me. But today I take back everything else. Half the jury was wiping tears. Grown men looked like they wanted to jump the rail and handle Nate themselves. Judge Patricia Walsh didn't even need the full 3 hours. Nathan Harper, you are guilty of aggravated battery with intent to cause great bodily harm and attempted second-degree murder. Sentence: 12 years in Stateville, no early release. Medical license permanently revoked. You will pay Lauren Harper $1 million in restitution and cover every cent of her medical care for life. The gavel slammed like a gunshot. Nate didn't look up as they dragged him out. 1 year later. A sunny Saturday in June. Lauren stood in front of the mirror in a simple ivory lace dress that made her look 10 years younger. All her scans were clean. The cancer never came. Dr. Ryan Caldwell, now just Ryan, the man who'd been by her side every step, stood behind her adjusting her veil. Your blood work is perfect, he smiled. You're officially healthier than me. A tiny voice piped up from the doorway. "Mommy, you look like a princess." 5-year-old Sophia, adopted 6 months ago, curls and dimples and all the love Lauren's heart could ever need, stood there in a fluffy white dress holding a basket of rose petals. Lauren knelt down, arms open. Motherhood didn't come the way she planned. Came better. Ryan offered his arm. "Ready, Mrs. Soon-to-be Caldwell." She took it, turned for one last look at the old house on the North Shore and smiled. That life was ashes. This one was hers. So that's my story, Chicago. From almost dying at the hands of the man who swore to protect me, to marrying the doctor who actually did. From believing I'd never be a mom, to tucking in the little girl who calls me mommy every single night. Listen to that quiet voice inside you, sisters. It's smarter than any ring, any promise, any lie. Because sometimes the worst thing that ever happened to you is just the fire that burns away everything fake. So the real life you were always meant to have can finally grow. If this story hit you in the chest like it hit me telling it, smash that like button, drop your city in the comments. I read every single one. If it saved even one woman from ignoring that gut feeling, then every tear I cried was worth it. Turn on the bell because I've got more real-life redemption stories coming. This is Philo, signing off from the Windy City. Stay strong, stay safe, and never ever ignore that voice. See you beautiful people in the next one.